Hey, welcome back to the shed. So, today we're going to be talking about airbrushes and how much I hate them. So, here's the situation. I love the look of an airbrush model kit. Everyone agrees that if you have an airbrush, you should use it. And if you want to have really nice looking paint, you should use an airbrush. Here's the thing though, anyone who uses an airbrush or has used an airbrush will all agree that cleaning this thing out, pain in the neck. And if you're like me, you want to paint the blue and the red and the yellow. You want to paint all the different colors all at the same time. It's really annoying to have to paint everything in gray because you don't want to have to spend the time to clean your paint pot out in between runs, right? So, I'm late to the game, but I decided to buy a Gundam marker airbrush kit. So what we're going to do is we're going to open this box up. We're going to try out a couple of these things and see what happens. So I'll be back in just a second. Okay, so I've got a few things on the table here tonight, and so I want to kind of talk through some of it. So my personal journey with airbrushing is I bought a couple of very basic airbrushes off of Amazon, AliExpress. It's a double action airbrush. It's a decent, entry level, like, if you're looking for a real airbrush, not a bad airbrush, right? You can buy them in kits that have different size needles, and they're not terribly expensive. So I've had a couple of these with varying degrees of, mess and whatnot. What I did was I had like one that was a certain size needle, another size needle. I know how these things work. I've used them before. But I also got really annoyed at having to clean them in between paint colors. Now, like a lot of people, I started off with this kind of very basic compressor. And for, a lot of, like, if you're going to do just like minor stuff, like smaller stuff, if you're not going to be brushing for, extended periods of time, like 2-3 hours at a go, these kinds of compressors are great. Because what they can do is, it does just what it needs to do on the box. It just pushes air. However, they do not have a tank. So if you are going to be using it for more than, half an hour to an hour at a time, then it does become a little problematic. And because they don't have a tank, you don't have quite the same finesse with your, with the power of the air. And so anyone who's used these, I'm sure there are many people who are quite happy with these. And mind you, these are entry-level, like very beginner budget ones. And if you're using this, great, awesome, cool, good for you, right? But then I moved on and I decided I wanted to play with the big boys, and I got a real compressor with a tank and everything. And I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but it's dusty. It's been sitting on a shelf for the last 3 years because even though I am in a shed, you would think I would have lots of room. As you can see from some of my videos, I really kind of don't. I don't have any windows out here, so I don't really have a way to vent any of those paint fumes. And again, I hate the cleanup. I hate having to thin my paints. I hate having to mix my colors. Some people, that's the thing they live for. Me, I find it super, super annoying. So, today, I impulse bought something off of Amazon. So, let me show you what I got. So, I got thinking, I was watching a couple videos, and I realized that the Gundam marker airbrush system is not a bad idea. So I paid $20 Canadian for this on Amazon. And so this is very clearly a very basic airbrush. It comes with, so this is funny, it says instructions. Of the goods, mark pen gun, this product specially designed for model for beginners. Mark pen off the cap, press gently on the plane with a few pen to paint to the tip. Then insert the mark pen into the round hole. Round hole automatic contraction function. It will automatically with mark pen. After mark pen with a hose connection, pump insertion, mark pen, and airflow adjustment in a straight line. Push the button to start the pump can easily implement the model line by spraying. In use, if need to change color, need to change, the mark pen will do. Mark pen itself without cleaning, this is a suitable model for beginners, is sprayed with polished tools. To use mark pen, not skilled players, as long as have this product, you can easily master painting skills. You can easily play model, coloring, make spray easier. Mark pen when to choose and buy must choose normal factory production. To choose suitable. This mark pen torch round hole diameter size, reference mark pen 13 to 14 millimeter diameter size. I'm going to keep this. This is fun. This is very clearly a product that is geared towards idiots like me, I'll say. So what this came with is we have our airbrush, and then it looks like we have some kind of an adapter. So now on the Amazon listing, it did show a picture of this with a compressor can attached to it, but that did not come. So I wound up calling Amazon, and I got a refund because, you know, like this, the product that I thought I was buying was going to have a battery-powered compressor on it. So bonus points to Amazon for that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if, like, this is my hose from my big tank compressor. It looks like this thing is ready to go to just hook right into it. Let's turn the tank on. And now there's no air coming out of the nozzle, but when I push down, where's my camera angle here? It sounds like it's doing what it needs to do. It's pushing air. So here's what we're going to do. I am going to pause the video here. I'm going to let my compressor fill up so it's not so loud, and then I'm going to pick it up from there. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, and we're back. So, turn that light on so we can see a little bit better. Okay, so let's bring this in a little closer so you can see what we're working with here. So this is it's a single action airbrush. There's no back and forth on this. It's just up and down. Simple as that. So I am going to need to adjust my air pressure off of my compressor tank. Not a big deal. But what's really neat about this, and this is what is attracting me to this idea, is that the air is coming out through here. And now it does have like a fairly small little round hole there that it's going through. Don't know if that's going to focus in or not, but you know, it is, you know, like it's not like it's a aerojet kind of thing. And what I really like about the concept of this, at least, is these Gundam markers. They're basically paint pens, and what you can do is you shake them up, give it a good shake. Then these things have this, I don't know if it's plastic or felt, but this little nib here where the paint's going to come out. So you push it down a couple times until the paint comes out. And there we go. So I've got some paint coming out. And then what you do is we just put that into our airbrush nozzle here until it's going to be like right in front of that airstream. And it should just work like an airbrush. Now I may need to kind of finagle this a little bit in order to make it to work. Ah, there we go. That seems to be doing the trick. Now, I was watching some videos where guys were saying that the tips are gonna want to dry out quickly because they've got, you know, air blowing across the tip here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paint. So like I've got a handful of spoons and knives here, and we're just gonna see what happens. Okay, so I got paint coming out, and then let's get you there. Okay. That's not terrible. Okay, so now this is the part that gets me really excited, is now when I want to change my colors, my airbrush is perfectly clean. I put my cap back on my paint pen, and then I can switch colors. Just give it a good shake. Okay. So it does take a little bit of practice to kind of get the marker in the right alignment here. once you get it, okay. There we go. Maybe need it a little further down here. There we are. Then leave that to dry. So here's our brown that we started off with, and it's basically already dry. I mean, it's a fairly light kind of coat to it. Here's like this fork. Oh, that's still a little tacky. I need to give that a little bit longer to sit. Here, let's try. I have an idea. I have this nail polish shaker that I used to use for my my Tamiya paints. I'm going to see if I can find the Velcro strap and then see if I can strap one of the markers in and give it a shake and see if that'll help move this process along. So bear with me for just a minute. That's probably good. All right. So what I'm doing here, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but there's like a slight like chisel tip to it. So I'm trying to line up the point of that chisel with the nozzle and try to put it so that the tip of that chisel is going to be directly in front of that airflow. Okay. So, I know this is not going to be like picture perfect, amazing painting quality stuff. And I know that for those of you who use a real airbrush, you're probably looking at this like, haha, I'm playing with a kid's toy. But you can see that once you get the hang of it, it's not bad. Like, it is giving me that airbrush effect. These paint marker pens, like the Gundam markers, any Gunpla hobby store is going to have them. Amazon, all sorts of places like that. Hell, even some comic book shops would have them. There's also, like, this is not like a... It's not like these are the only markers you can buy with this format, where it's paint inside with the little nib on the end. I think there's, like, AK makes a few of them, Dis by A makes a few of them. But you can see that once you get the hang of doing it, you can have some fun with this. Like, it won't take very much at all in order to do this. But the number one thing that gets me so excited about this is I've now gone through 3 different colors, and I have not had to clean a single thing. So, yes, this is a very beginner, very introduction airbrush. But you know what? I'm cool with that. I am quite happy with that. Now, you can buy these on AliExpress for like 15 bucks. Like I said, I paid 20 on Amazon for mine and then got it refunded because the picture had like a big battery compressor that was missing. I mean, hell, if you wanted to 3D print the right size of paint cup of your own, you could do that too. This particular, and this one, like, it's got like a little split ring here. So when you put the marker through, it'll expand a little bit in order to fit the marker, which also means that you're then also, like, if the markers you buy are not the exact same size as this, then you're still okay. And if it ever does crack and, you know, break from plastic fatigue, for 20 bucks, buy another one. Now, yes, it is a bit of extra setup if you want to go as far as getting a big tank compressor, not gonna lie. But you can also use the little small pump that I was showing you. So, all in all, I'd say I'm quite pleased with this. I need to do some practice. So, I've got this kit here. I'm gonna try and put it together in some stages and do some painting. I suspect I'm gonna get a lot of use out of this. So, there's my final thought for the night tonight. Is if you have a little bit extra pocket money to spend, pretty good idea. I'm looking forward to it. So, safe travels. See you later.